There's a show that comes on NBC called The Voice. Anybody seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the primary thing that's kind of the hook about The Voice? What's the thing that's different in that show than any other show, singing competition show?
And turn it back on.
But what is the one thing?
Yeah,
Right, the judges are what?
Right.
That's right. That's the hook of that show. When somebody pitched that show to the NBC producers, they said, we're going to do this different because we're not going to be seeing the contestants. That's right. Absolutely. Well, let me ask you something. When you are turned around, what do you not see? Right?
The crowd.
No, I'm saying the judges. When they're turned around in the voice, what do they not see? What elements? They don't see what they look like.
What color they are.
What color they are? What size they are?
How they dress.
How they're dressed? If they're handicapped or not? That's right. And they don't see, their eye gates are not receiving any of that data. That sense is not being engaged. What's being engaged? Just this sense. Let me ask you something. When you are seeing and hearing, do you have a hard time doing both of them really, really well? Yeah, I do. I do. I have a hard time. If I'm seeing and hearing, that's a lot for me to take in. It sometimes will take us a while to get those two married up to where they're in sync. Okay, who's ever done this? Let's be honest now, we're in church. We're still in church. When you look at a person coming up, a singer, a preacher, a choir, whatever, what is the first thing that you engage in generally? Appearance. Right. You're very normal in that you have full awareness that their shirt is green. You have full awareness that they have a pink ribbon on. You have full awareness that they have a beautiful updo hair. It's beautiful gray. I really want mine to be. Yes. Yeah, we've gone on to wonder where her hair was done. We do it. Do we not? Let me tell you something. That takes time. It takes time. It takes energy to do that. It takes you what I'm considering not to be time that I want to give away sometimes, right? I don't want to give that time away. You know, sometimes I get like I'm sick of myself because here it is, I'm 5 minutes into what the person is saying or singing, and I just have got myself, oh yeah, you know, for seeing. And then if I see them and then I'm looking over at the musician or I'm looking over at, oh, well, oh, that's a nice, you know, I mean, it's like you get sick of yourself, right? So I really like the concept of The Voice and the fact that they don't let the eye gates get engaged in order to make their judgment, right? Now, let's bring this home. Choir. Everybody in the choir? Everybody here in the choir? Worship team? How many soloists do I have that like lead songs? Anybody? Okay. Point to somebody that's refusing to raise their hand. You sing songs, I think. Somebody over here. Oh, okay. Okay. So we don't get to have the congregation turned around, do we? Sue said, if you did not hear, that's why we cry. Okay, now that's a whole class. But thank you, Sue. That's why we cry. Okay. Now, we don't get the benefit of people being turned around. We are having to present ourselves every single time with all of the congregation looking right at us. So all of those things you named, guess what? They see all of those. They're checking out all of them. They see how high, tall you are or how short you are. They see how your hair is done. They see your earrings. They see everything. But what's the most important thing that they see? I mean, but what, in terms of your eye gates, what's they're seeing your countenance, your expressions, they're seeing that. And let's say this. If I'm standing by Carol, we're in the choir, and I have just told Carol off in the parking lot. See the face? See? But Carol said, yeah, okay. Listen, that's being seen. It's there. You may have not even just told Carol off in the parking lot. You just have like a little, we don't really get along. Well, that is not my favorite. We know it happens, right? It shows. It's right there. Nobody's turned around. They're looking. They see it. It is real. It's live and it is in color. We're talking about control. What do we have that can get us to a point where when we corporately join together, when we corporately do this thing called choir or worship team or whatever it might be in music ministry, what are we doing that may just cause the Lord to be seen and not us? Well, I'm going to say, we're going to start here with a few things. We can do some things to get ourselves to a place where we are adequately prepared in the Word, where we're adequately prepared physically, we're adequately prepared mentally, right? All of those things are what we'll just take a few minutes and talk about. I want to point out a few scriptures as it relates to speaking to you today. And then we will engage these things that we want to do to make God's presence glorious. Psalm 35:28, this is from the King James Version, says, "And my tongue shall speak of thy righteousness and of thy praise all the day long." Psalm 19:14 says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer." Is it your strength today? James 3:13-18 says, "Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envy and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. You know, if you have strife, say it, get it out. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above," now remember, strife, envy, craziness, foolishness, earthly, sensual, devilish. Right? Now we're going to talk about, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. We're peacemakers. Peacemakers. And the remainder of our time, we're going to take and talk about what is your role in control. You can't control anything, but you have a role in control. Yes, sir.
James,
James 3, 13 through 18. 3, 13 through 18. Yes, sir. You wrote it, okay? 3 through 18. Yes. So,
Repeat that sentence you just said, statement you just said. You can't control
anything,
everything.
but you have a role in control. Every single one of us has a role. That's right. You have a role. You play a role. You are helpful, hopefully, to yourselves in the outcome being peaceful, in the outcome being an environment of love and encouragement. You want to be in the choir, I assume. You want to be with the people that you're with. You want it to be glorious for the Lord. Remember, when we talk about who goes first, it's the singers. You are presenting the Lord. We are in a role that says, guess what? Here is, look, we mostly start our services out with a song, right? Okay? Not just for song's sake, there's a reason for it. There's an engagement that happens when you sing. There's a beauty that should take place in you as you prepare yourself to worship. So as a choir, as a corporate entity that we are, right? We are engaging, we're leading the people that are looking at us. Right? We're in a loft. We're even in a position that is raised up. Not raised up as in we're puffed up and we're better than you all, but you're in a position to say, I'm here to let you all know, to proclaim God's glory in song. Come on, let's go. Let's invite the Lord into this house. Let's make his presence glorious. Let's sing songs. David put together 4,000 singers and musicians. He said to these musicians, I want you to stand along the walls. Make God's praise glorious. Sing, shout unto the Lord. Play your instruments, your harps, your lyres, your drums. We are going to make God's praise glorious. You cannot do it unless you are prepared. And I promise you, I will pay you whatever's in my bank account if you tell me and you show me you can do it and fool anybody. You can't do it. This is a sacred endeavor. This is not an endeavor that's just I'm jumping up, putting on a robe, going up in the choir stand. It is not. Number one, controlling what goes in your body. Food, drink, smoke, allergens, colognes, perfumes. Those all enter the body one way or the other. Okay? Now, I'm a very horrible person about drinking caffeine. Thank God he has shown me in a way that he got my attention, and I now have cut caffeine probably by about 70%. Okay? So I said, where But I've now been off of coffee, caffeinated coffee, for about a month. I know, wow. And I've been off of sodas and things with caffeine for about 2 weeks. Okay? So now, I'm a witness that you can do it. I, who love coffee. I, who traded my clothes in South Africa for coffee. I did. I brought home a suitcase full of coffee. I did not have anything but flip-flops on my feet and traveled for 30 hours with the flip-flops on. Yes, I did, but I got home some good coffee. Sure did, and I was happy about it. So it can be done. What does caffeine do to the voice? To the vocal cords specifically. Anybody?
Burn them.
They dry them.
Dry.
It dries them. Okay? Caffeine pulls out every single oil, every single moisturizer, if you will, out of the vocal cords. It will rob and strip your vocal cords completely down to nakedness, right? Well, okay, well, what's wrong with that, you say? I'm glad you asked. What's wrong with it is this. You then engage your vocal cords dry and parched, wanting to be it. Look, God placed them there. He meant for them to be in a moisturized state, not a dry state. So now you get up here and start singing. We were created to make your praise glorious, glorious. Just sing it. Okay? Vocal cords just. Vocal cords don't like that. They want that smooth. They like smoothness. Vocal cords like to move like this. If you ever had an endoscopy, right, and they look down in the back of the throat, you can see the vocal cords, they look like a V, right? In the back of the throat, they open and close, open and close, open and close. They like no light to be going through them when they're closed. When they're closed, shut tight. Guess what? We are people who engage in a lot of repetition in our songs. We sing a song for 9 minutes, whereas the Presbyterians sing it for 2. Okay? You get where I'm going, right? Okay, the folk get on up, sing the song, be done. No. We are still on, oh yes it did, oh yes it did, oh yes it did, yes it did. And we are on that for 8 minutes. Okay? Now, if you know that though, you signed up for it. You know that's how we do it. Now you look, after minute number 4, you cannot be over there like, I ain't saying no No. Can I do that? You cannot fake shouting because you're tired of singing. You cannot start lip syncing because you're tired. You cannot just stop singing and looking ill because you are singing for 9 minutes. But if you have vocal cords that are prepared and ready to go, you've drank water, you've had a good supply of ginger, that will help with any inflammation that might be created in that area. Honey, yeah. You want to cleanse the back of the throat. You don't want to dry the vocal cords in order to do it. Who does that? Anybody? Well,
how about the decaffeinated coffee?
Decaf still has a little bit of caffeine. It's better than caffeinated. It is. But if you drink any coffee, the amount you drink a 12 ounce, 8 ounces, 20 ounces, drink the same amount of water right behind it. That will be helpful to you. It will be helpful to you to do that.